Another book-off trip. This one's my local, tucked away in a quiet part of Kanagawa. Not the big Yokohama or Tokyo stores, just the one near me, a pleasant 25-minute walk. Having a look at the games section, I usually go straight for Dreamcast or PC Engine, which more often than not doesn't have a very big selection, but to my surprise, both of these systems had a decent library of games for sale. Catching my interest particularly was Project Justice and Fighting Vipers 2. And then I spot it, that row of shmup cases locked behind the glass cabinet where the good stuff usually is. Karoo, Tech Romancer, Gigawing 1 and 2, Ridurgi, Zero Gunner 2, Cyveria 2, Gunbird 2. Every single one had these little stickers marking damage, the kind you only see when something's been catalogued, someone's collection. Ridurgi was one of the games I had in my mind to buy when I moved here. A grail, if you will. Karoo, I wasn't as fussed about, but it was also on my list. I couldn't afford either of them. We'd only just moved, so I picked up Gigawing instead, the cheap one, and went home still thinking about the other two. The reason some of these games matter is they released in a strange period where the Dreamcast was either dead or dying, but Japanese developers kept releasing games anyway. Karoo was actually the last ever official Dreamcast game, which is why I couldn't stop thinking about it. A few days later I went back, my mind set on Ridurgi and Project Justice. To my surprise, Cyveria 2 and Project Justice were both already gone. Someone near me clearly has great taste, but Ridurgi was still there. So was Karoo, still calling to me. I'd forgotten it was under 10,000 yen, and after checking them both, some discoloration, which was the reason for the discount, but the discs themselves looked great, I decided to just get them both. They'd obviously been stored somewhere damp could get in. In Japan, that's a real issue. Back home, I went through them properly. A small mark on the Obi spine card. Fine. Expected. Opened it up, checked the disc. A few marks on the front that actually wiped straight off. Genuinely pleased about that. Then I opened the manual, and that's when I saw what I'd missed in the store. Some pretty bad, rusty staples. In that moment, I decided taking them out was the right call, and it turned out the discoloration I'd assumed was mold was actually rust, which, oddly, I was more pleased about. I'm no expert, and I know what I did next will make some of you wince. But I got the staples out as fast as I could. The outer layer of the manual had corroded right through where they'd sat. You could see clean through it. The inner spine, though, held up fine. Just a bit of marking. Overall, I was really happy with the purchase. While I was working on it, I kept thinking about why these actually mattered to me. It was under Defeat I'd pre-ordered on a site called Lixang, and that's what actually brought me back to the Dreamcast, at a point when it was basically dead. That's when I started using the forum. I'd see new games get announced, Ridurgi, Triggerheart Exelica, Karoo, and every day I'd check what was coming up next. I never actually pre-ordered anything after Under Defeat, which I regret. But the Lixang forum is also where I met one of my closest friends. 21 years now. Both English, same age, never met in person. That's really what these games are. I was 14, 15, 16, near the end of what I'd call the good times in gaming, when it still felt magical rather than just familiar. Lixang was a big part of that. And some of the people I met through it still mean a lot to me now. So there's a nostalgia attached to these two that's got very little to do with how they actually play. Let's get the Dreamcast set up. I managed to bring my modded PAL Dreamcast over from England with me. Priorities, I know. It's region-free, so import titles aren't a problem, and it's got a broadband adapter fitted also. To get picture onto the TV, I'm running an Acura HDMI adapter. I also brought my Dreamcast arcade stick along, still half packed from the flight by the look of it. I'd read that it handles the voltage difference here without any issues, so we're about to find out. And there's one small touch I'm genuinely fond of, a backlit VMU. Over the years since, I'd keep seeing them, Radurgi especially, pop up on eBay, prices just climbing and climbing. I kept telling myself I'd get it eventually. It never stopped going up. Radurgi's art always stuck with me, that girl with the big glasses on the cover. Months of seeing it on the pre-order page will do that to you. I'd actually forgotten it was cel-shaded until I checked it out again a few years back. A lot of shooters from this era can look pretty generic, but that art style made it stand out. And here's the irony. Karoo and Radurgi are basically the same game, same team, same core mechanics, just re-skinned. Karoo actually reviews better, but personally, I think Radurgi's the more beautiful of the two. Karoo has this other thing going for it though. It was the last officially licensed Dreamcast game ever released. March 2007, years after everyone had written the system off. Getting it for under 10,000 yen, not really planning to, felt fitting somehow. Except it didn't quite work out. Both discs looked great going in, but Karoo's wouldn't boot properly. Tried it a few times, finally got it to load once, and it froze not long after. I managed to get it running again and played a couple of levels, but it was clear the disc itself had a real issue. I ended up having to return it, which was genuinely disappointing. I'd been so happy to walk away with both of them. Thank you for joining me on DreamNet 99, where we bring your dreams online.